Veld had watched human soldiers for 14 months, and their conclusion was this. Humans use terrain cover because they can't avoid it. The stopping is a failure of momentum. When a human soldier goes behind a rock, it's because something is forcing them there. They stop, wait for the situation to change, then move again. In the Veld's tactical framework, cover was a cost. Their own doctrine was built on speed and communication density. They moved fast, they talked fast, they stayed in formation. An entity moving faster than a threat can react is effectively safer than one hiding behind something static. They had assessed 40 contact species. This framework had worked every time. They requested a demonstration. They wanted to know if human cover behavior was a cognitive limitation or a tactical practice, with a purpose they couldn't read from the outside. Sergeant Major Yusuf Adebayo Crane chose 6 people and took them to a hillside. He did not tell them to be impressive. He told them to be correct. And then he watched the Veld observers' questions begin. 8 minutes in. Where are team members 2 and 5? They're not in our sight lines. Adebayo Crane said, they're at positions Delta 2 and Foxtrot 1. The observers said, those aren't in line of sight from us. He said, correct. They said, then how are they receiving communication from the team? He said, the communication was established before they took those positions. The team knows where they're going and what they're doing. They don't need real-time instruction to execute. The observers were quiet. Then, if the communication was established before the movement, it doesn't account for changes in the tactical environment. He said, it accounts for the range of likely changes. The plan included conditional responses. The conditions were established in advance. The observers processed this. And then, 14 minutes in, Sergeant Delacreniere and Private Worm executed a movement sequence. Worm crossing exposed ground while Delacreniere held position and watched the threat sector. The observer's mental patterns changed. Fast. The stationary one is not stationary because she cannot move. The movement of the mobile one is more protected than it would be if she were also mobile. She is stationary in order to protect him. Yes, Adebayo Crane said. How did they decide who would be stationary? The one with the better sight line to the threat sector stayed. The one who needed to cross exposed ground moved. They decided this before they left the last covered position. A pause. They decided that before they were in positions from which those sight lines were visible. They anticipated sight lines they hadn't yet reached. How? They walked the ground yesterday.